you can't do that. You can't tell young people, even younger people than you, what's the use of even doing anything? They're just going to say, oh, screw it. You know? Let's go ahead and dump all the old rivers. Let's go ahead and just, use all the water we can. You can't do that. Your generation is going to turn this thing around. I really believe that. I have to believe that. And I'm not proud of what was left of you folks. But the research, the computer world now, everything we got going for us, if we use it the right way, it'll work. I'm not, you won't believe this, I'm not proud to say this, my wife hates it when I say it. I don't even have a computer. I just got a cell phone 2 years ago. I don't even have anything like that. BlackBerry, none of this stuff. Now, Kate and everybody works with me, obviously they have to have it, or you wouldn't be done for right now. But I will learn in 2 years when I retire, I'm going to get me one. And I have a computer, I'm going to send emails, it's a lot of fun. But I am, and the question is, I am concerned about a lot of the younger folks than you all. With my grandkids right now, they got these little things in their hand, they're playing with all the time, it's like it's alcoholic or something. These little games they play, they won't put the dumb things down. Now my daughter, she has time out, and she takes them from, like the other day, down there, and they're all outdoors people, but now they're going to this other thing, so now she just took them always. So that's it. You have 30 minutes a day. That concerns me. It really does concern me. Yes.
What would you tell students to enhance your resume, or what are you looking for in an employee or something like that?
All right. Obviously, your education is important. Some folks even get a 4-year degree, all right? They come here, get a 2-year degree, might be whatever it might be. If you have the money, if you have the time, if you don't, I understand that. But some people get a 4-year degree and come and get a 2-year degree. Now, where would that be? There's a place called Moore Park College in California, and Santa Fe Teaching Zoo down in Florida. Santa Fe Teaching Zoo in Florida, 2-year course. Moore Park College in Moore Park, California, near LA, is a 2-year course. And both those places, the only places in the country that have animals. They have animals where you wake up in the morning at 5:30. They have like cats, camels, primates. Where you wake up at 5:30 in the morning, you're on shift. You clean cages. If you start your classes at 9, you get out at 4. You clean cages. I think once a week you're on night watch. Just exactly how the zoo is run. Those that go to school 2 to 4 years and then go there 2 more years, 90% of them get jobs. Because in our zoo world, we know where to look. We know those kids haven't just got an education, but they've been working in the field, so to speak, at these 2-year colleges. And or what I just said before, on me and resume, I like to look, if they're interested in biology or zoological science or whatever it might be, have they worked on a farm? Have they volunteered in the Humane Society? There's always somewhere to go and help animals. Another thing you can do too is Peace Corps. Peace Corps is a way that a lot of young people today are getting out there to a lot of these third world countries and getting involved in the animal world, or the conservation field, let's put it that way. Sometimes you may have to waver a little bit and not just go and, I want to work with animals. It's good to have your eyesight on that, but it's not as same as when I was a young man. But you have your eyesight set on it, but you may have to go over here. It's like playing baseball. You have to go to first base before you get to home plate. That's what I try to tell you. Don't get discouraged if you have to kind of go way out here to get the first, and then you try to get the second. It just takes work now, a little more work than what it used to. Where the education and getting out there in some of these areas I'm talking about, that really helps your resume. As well as communication, everybody. You have to be able to communicate. I don't know if you have speech classes here or teaching classes. That's important. A lot of veterinarians, I speak to a lot of these veterinarian colleges, and the #1 concern they have is communication. A lot of these kids are brilliant. They graduate, but they can't communicate with a customer who has a $6 cat. So that's important in this whole field of workplace today.
Along the same lines, we've always been concerned that certain institutions don't respect an associate's degree. But yet you mentioned the wilds. We have our students working there in their capacity, environmental education, resource management. They know what our students are qualified to do. But how do we convince other zoos and the museum industry that, because they're not all going to come here like you. How do we get the word out if they don't want to even look at us? And yet the wilds has looked at us. And we're good with that.
Well, one way we can start is I wouldn't mind putting a quote in your brochures for you when these kids graduate from here. We can quote in there from me stating this is a tremendous opportunity. These folks have been raised in the environment of this field. They have the wilds there, and you just get with my Kate, and somebody here knows they know Kate. And I'm not talking about a whole page. People get sick of reading, right? But a picture maybe, maybe a student with an animal. Get Kate to set up for these kids, or whoever you want to pick. Can't pick everybody, but pick a couple, a guy and a girl. Make sure we cover everything. And come up there and get a picture with an animal or something. You follow what I'm saying? And then I can be in a picture. Or I don't even be in a picture. I just say a quote for you, and maybe that'll start helping. hired somebody from Moore Park. They said all these, the zoo business, you gotta understand something, everybody, it's a tough business, not just from the standpoint of getting jobs. A lot of these zoos are, what's the right word here? Put themselves up here above these students. They put you way up, they're way up here. Whether they want the doctors, I mean, they need all this stuff. The zookeeper is the one that keeps us alive. The folks in there. And not just the zookeeper, the PR department. Everybody has to be, our zoo has been, I think, successful because if I've done anything, I use the word I don't, we have built, there's been a we thing to build a zoo, what Jack Hanna, I've never done it with a lot of people there. But the one thing I've always said is that everybody has a hand in building Columbus Zoo. I don't care who you are. The guy who drives a garbage truck, Ronnie Jones, has driven the garbage truck in Columbus Zoo for 33 years. Every day for 33 years, like 2 days a week, he drives that garbage truck, picks up the animal crap, type of stuff. He picks it up. He loves his job. But it takes him for the zoo to work. So I don't care who you are in the zoo. But you're right, it's a problem because of how some zoos put themselves on pedestals. But there are little zoos that don't. There's an Ivy Zoo. I just left him last night in Davenport, Iowa. There's a guy in Kansas right now that's building his own little private zoo because he said, you know, there's ranches, folks. There's ranchers out there. There's ranches in Texas that have more exotic animals than South Africa almost. If you're looking for good help. So don't get discouraged. I know what you're talking about. So maybe that's one way we can start. Because, you know, for some reason, just this 4-year thing, doctor, and all this stuff.
Pretty much at the time here, I think. I hope everyone has enjoyed this. This really was about you today, and when we thought of the idea to bring Jack here, was really an opportunity for you all to get to meet him in a setting that most people never would. As you heard, he said that he spoke to 800 students the other day, and this is a much different environment. We hope this is something you take from your experience here at college, and hope it changes your life in some way. I would like to invite everyone to come down at 1 o'clock. He has another show in the arena, and I think we're going to be a few minutes late to that one, but
If you're going to sign all these, if you don't want one, it ain't going to hurt my feelings. But that way I'll let you carry it on the plane next time.
And we want to thank you all for coming, and let's thank Jack Hanna for being here.